Welcome to Storied Audio. Mark had always liked his boss, Elaine. She was sharp, fair, and had a dry sense of humor that made even the most chaotic workdays feel manageable. So when she stopped by his office one afternoon and asked if he could help her move some furniture at her house that weekend, he didn't hesitate. "Of course," he said. "Just tell me when to be there." Elaine smiled, the kind that crinkled the corners of her eyes. Saturday arrived bright and warm. Mark pulled into Elaine's driveway to find her already outside, with a mug of coffee in hand. Her house was cozy, with a wide porch and flower beds. "You're a lifesaver," she said as he stepped out of his car. "I promise I won't work you too hard." She lied, but they laughed through it, teasing each other about their lack of upper body strength and pausing often to catch their breath. When they finally finished, Elaine wiped her forehead dramatically. "I think we've earned lunch. Come inside. And there's someone I want you to meet." Inside, the house smelled faintly of lemon and fresh bread. At the kitchen table sat a young woman with soft brown hair tucked behind her ears. She looked up as they entered, her eyes warm but shy. "This is my daughter, Lily," Elaine said proudly. "Lily, this is Mark. He's the one who saved me from throwing my back out today." Lily offered a small, polite smile. "Hi. Thank you for helping my mom." "Happy to," Mark said, suddenly aware of how dusty and sweaty he must look. They sat down to sandwiches and iced tea. Lily was quiet at first, answering questions softly, but she listened intently, her gaze flicking to Mark more than once. When she did speak, her voice was gentle, thoughtful, and surprisingly steady. Halfway through lunch, Elaine set down her glass and said casually, "Lily's going to a wedding next weekend. She needs a date, actually." Lily's eyes widened. "Mom?" Mark chuckled, sensing the embarrassment, but also the opportunity. "Well," he said, meeting Lily's gaze, "if you'd like some company, I'd be happy to go with you." A soft blush rose across her cheeks. She looked down, then back up with a shy smile. "Thank you. That would be nice." Elaine hid her grin behind her napkin. That evening, Mark received a text from an unfamiliar number. "Hi, it's Lily. Thank you again for agreeing to go to the wedding." He smiled, leaning back on his couch. "Of course. I'm looking forward to it." What began as simple logistics, "What time should we meet? Should I wear navy or gray?" quickly shifted into something more personal. Lily told him about her graduate program, how she loved reading but hated group projects, how she collected old postcards from thrift shops. Mark told her about his favorite hiking trails, his habit of burning toast no matter how careful he was, and the stray cat that visited his porch every morning. She sent him a picture of the dress she planned to wear, asking if the color was too bold. He told her it was perfect. She replied with a blushing emoji that made his heart skip. By midweek, their conversations stretched late into the night. Lily wasn't nearly as shy over text. She was witty, clever, and surprisingly bold in small, sweet ways. Mark found himself checking his phone more often than he wanted to admit. One night, after an hour of talking about everything from childhood memories to favorite movies, Lily wrote, "I'm really glad you're coming with me. I was nervous about going alone." He hesitated only a moment before replying, "I'm glad too. More than you know." She didn't respond right away, and he wondered if he'd said too much. But then, "I feel the same." He went to bed smiling. When Saturday arrived, Mark found himself more nervous than he'd expected. He wore the navy suit. Lily had said it looked very handsome in the picture he'd sent, and brought a small bouquet of white flowers, unsure if it was too much, but hoping it wasn't. When Lily stepped onto the porch, he forgot how to breathe. Her dress was soft blue, flowing gently around her, and her hair curled at the ends in a way that framed her face beautifully. She looked radiant and nervous. "You look beautiful," he said, offering the flowers. Her cheeks warmed. "Thank you. And you look really good." From the doorway, Elaine watched them with a knowing smile. She didn't say a word, but her expression said everything. I knew it. At the wedding, they were inseparable. They whispered jokes during the ceremony, laughed through the awkward speeches, and danced, first politely, then with growing ease, until Lily rested her head lightly against his shoulder. During one slow song, she looked up at him, her eyes soft. "I'm really glad it's you," she said quietly. He brushed a strand of hair behind her ear. "Me too." The connection between them felt natural, warm, and unmistakably mutual. On the drive home, Lily reached for his hand, tentative, brave, hopeful. He squeezed gently, feeling something settle comfortably in his chest. When he walked her to the door, she paused, searching his face. Then, with a shy confidence that surprised them both, she leaned up and kissed him. Light, warm, full of promise. Inside, Elaine peeked from the kitchen, smiling to herself. She'd seen it coming from the moment they met. The next morning, Mark woke to a message from Lily. "Last night was wonderful. I'd really like to see you again." He replied instantly. "Name the time and place." They met for coffee that afternoon, then dinner the next evening. Their conversations flowed easily, full of laughter and gentle teasing. Lily was still shy in some ways, but around him she opened up, her confidence blooming like something long dormant finally given sunlight. Elaine pretended not to pry, but she asked just enough questions to make it clear she was invested and delighted. Weeks passed, then months. Mark and Lily grew closer, their relationship deepening with every shared meal, every late-night conversation, every quiet moment spent simply enjoying each other's company. They fit together in a way that felt both surprising and inevitable. One evening, as they sat on Elaine's porch after dinner, Lily leaned against him, her head on his shoulder. "You know," she said softly, "I'm really glad my mom asked you to help her that day." He laughed. "I'm starting to think she planned the whole thing." "Oh, she absolutely did," Lily said, smiling. "She told me later she had a feeling about you." Mark looked toward the kitchen window, where Elaine was pretending not to watch them. He shook his head fondly. "Well," he said, taking Lily's hand, "I'm glad she was right." Lily squeezed his fingers. "Me too." The sun dipped below the trees, casting warm light across the porch. The air was quiet, peaceful, full of possibility. And as Mark sat there with Lily beside him, her hand in his, he knew this wasn't just a favor anymore. It was the beginning of something real, something lasting, something that felt like home. Subscribe for more audio stories.